So after he go away, I went to renew my sojourner, which have expired after 10 months. They renewed the sojourner after 10 months. So when they renewed this sojourner, they took the original Kaleidos, they took the original, and they gave me the photocopy, which was not supposed to be so, because I was supposed to stay with the original while they stay with the photocopy if they want. So I keep asking them for this, and nobody's replying to me. Before I know, they take the original birth certificate of my son, and they also gave me again the photocopy. So this was too much, because I don't know what they are applying. So I have to go to the office of Kaleidos to ask them this thing. When I arrived at the office with my baby, I met the man called Jojo, the responsible of the project. So when I was about to enter the door, he just stands up of his chair and he tell me, no, you have to go away, you have to go away. As if I'm a criminal, as if I'm nobody, I don't understand. I tell him I'm not going nowhere, because this is my right and this is the right of my son. I don't go nowhere because I'm in this project. So you people, you have to sit and you have to listen to me. So I refuse to go away. So I tried to enter the office. So he came out. When he was trying to leave me of the office and go away, I insist he's not going anywhere. So Jojo, the head of the project, he pushed me. When he pushed me, I hit my head to the door. So with this, I was so hungry. Then I hold him by the trouser. Before I know, there was this some of the workers of Jojo, they were coming to attack me. They are 3 boys. So I know I'm alone there. There is not my husband. There is nobody there to defend me. They can do me any harm. So I was so scared that when they were coming to attack me, I look at the table. There was this manka like a pen. I took this thing, I raised it up. I tell them, you people have to go away from me. You don't have to come closer. Immediately I raise this thing. They make a photo of this thing. They snap this thing, and after they snap, they go away. So when they go away, they call in Jojo said to one of the operator called Lucia, he said to him, Kiama, he didn't say Polizia. That was when I know Jojo have something with the Polizia that came. He didn't say call Polizia. He said to Lucia, Kiama, he started to measure their name. He started to measure, he just measured 4 names. So after that name, I didn't know it was Polizia. I think there were just people coming. So before I know, I saw Polizia. It was 4 Polizia. They came. So when they came, instead, when they were coming, as they are police, I know they represent the government. Their work, they were supposed to come, like they were supposed to ask what happened, what's the problem. They were supposed to try to resolve these things. But their character was something different. Because when they were coming, there was this very tall guy, very huge guy. He was coming and he was shouting, Perché tu no italiano, tu no, he was touching to his skin. He was saying, tu no bianco, tu africana, tu vai africana, tu blah 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 blah. He was saying these things. I did respond to him. But before I know, it started to rain. He thought like he said to me Fanculo. So when he said Fanculo, I know this is insult. Then I said to this policeman, I said to him, you don't have to say Fanculo to me, because I know this is an insult. Then I said to him, I'm not sure you are a police, because if you are a policeman, this is not how you are supposed to behave. You're supposed to come try to resolve this issue. But when I see the way they were behaving, I was so scared, because I'm alone. I was so scared like something bad is going to happen to me. So I said, okay, since you people come and I don't understand you, because you don't behave like the police that you are supposed to behave like, so I want to call police so they can come here, meet you here, then we settle these things all together. Then I took my phone from my bag. When I took my phone, I decided to call 211. So when I called this, when I dialed 21, I was about to dial 1. The huge police hit the phone off my hand, and the phone fell down. So when the phone fell down, by this time I was very, very scared, because I know something is wrong. So I was about to bend down to pick this phone. Then he tried to bring out something here. When he bring out this thing, I know what this thing is. This thing is what, when you put in somebody, you shock. After you shock, you can fall down and you faint. Because my father is a uniform man, so I know this thing. So when he was bringing this thing, I saw this thing was trying to put this thing on me. I hold this thing. When I hold this thing, he tried to collect this thing from me. I refused to leave this thing. They gathered all of of them, they are men, they gathered together, they tried to collect this thing, but they didn't succeed. When they see that it was very difficult for them to take these things, they bent my hand. I was shouting, I was feeling pain. I was telling them, my hand, my hand, my hand. They refused to leave my hand until they break my hand, until my hand make noise like. Then I know my hand was broken. So when they see that they have broke my hand, then they leave me alone. I fall to the ground with my face on the ground. Then they take my 2 hands back and they put handcuff on my hand back. And my baby was there with them. My baby was crying bitterly. They didn't look at the baby. They didn't even care if baby is there. They just molest me. They just do whatever they want with me. So after everything, they take me to the station. When they take me to the station, they leave my baby in Calais and they take me alone without my baby to their station. So when they take me to their station, they put me inside the cell. I have never entered a cell in my life. It is here in Italy. They put me inside the cell and they lock me there as if I'm a criminal. I'm not a criminal. I was just trying to ask for my rights and the rights of my son. So before I know what happened, when they put me inside the cell, they leave me to stay there for 5 hours. I was inside this place for 5 hours, and my baby was in the office of Kaleidos. I was so worried. I was telling them, I want to go meet my baby. I want to go. By this time, my hand was swelling that I can't move the hand. I can't use my hand in doing anything. So when they see that I was feeling this pain, they call in some people. I don't know if where they are from. They just called them and they came. When they came, it was a man and a woman. So they brought out injection. This was an injection. They wanted to give me injection inside this place, inside this cell. I told them, I said, no, you can't give me injection. If you want to treat me, you take me to the hospital. Yeah, it's not the hospital where you took me injection. So I didn't allow this to happen. I start to shout, and they go away. So after 5 hours, they brought in some papers. When they brought in papers, it was 2 papers. They tell me, you have to sign here and you have to sign here. Then I asked them, where will I sign? What the paper say? Because I don't understand anything in this paper. I can't read Italian. I don't understand Italian. So what is written on the paper? They said, yes, this paper mean if you sign, we will let you out. This paper mean you were here before, but when you sign, you are going to go away. So when you sign this paper, we let you go. It doesn't mean anything. So I signed this paper. After I signed, they take me to the office. They thumbprint my hand, take my face, and they make all sorts of things against me. I'm a criminal. I'm this. And this. They just say everything. It was like this. They are treating me and my baby like as if we are a criminal, as if we have done something wrong. I don't know. The police of Modena, the Kaleidos, even the prefectura, because I call the prefectura, they tell me never to call them. They tell me if you call us again, we send you out of Modena. No. So they are all like this.
Hey!
In questa piazza oggi, accanto a Precious, accanto a tutti quelli che stanno dicendo no al razzismo di governo e per essere liberi senza paura, c'è anche un movimento femminista, si chiama Non Una di Meno, che ha lottato in questi anni contro la violenza sulle donne, contro la violenza contro le donne, e che ha uno striscione su cui c'è scritto femminismo e antirazzismo. Perché noi non possiamo pensare di essere libere quando la violenza è praticata tutti i giorni sui confini. La storia di Precious è esattamente la storia che dice che la violenza contro le donne, la violenza maschile e la violenza razzista sono 2 facce della stessa medaglia. Per impedire alle donne, per impedire la libertà si usa violenza. Questo è quello che noi stiamo vedendo tutti i giorni. C'è un governo che ha scritto un programma, lo chiamano il programma giallo-verde, in cui l'unica volta che si parla di violenza contro le donne si dice che devono essere aumentate le forze di polizia, si dice che deve essere aumentata la violenza istituzionale, che è parte del problema e non della soluzione, perché è quello che tutti i giorni pesa sulla pelle dei migranti. Ci hanno raccontato in questi anni che i migranti sono la minaccia per le donne italiane. Salvini dice che noi dobbiamo proteggere le nostre donne dai migranti. Ecco, noi diciamo che noi siamo libere e non dobbiamo essere protette da nessuno. antirazzismo, per una libertà di movimento che dia la possibilità a tutte le donne come Precious di essere autonome, di essere indipendenti, di essere finalmente libere. Ed è per questo che siamo qui, è per questo che nel nostro piano femminista noi rivendichiamo un permesso di soggiorno europeo senza condizioni, perché non possiamo accettare che impedire la libertà di movimento significhi opprimere donne e uomini, prima migranti e poi tutti quanti. Per questo che siamo qui, per questo femminismo antirazzismo.
Grazie a tutti. Oggi vogliamo ricordare alla cittadinanza modenese che dopo il concerto di Varsco il comune di Modena di nascosto ha portato i richiedenti asili là in quel parco a pulirla. Li hanno portati lì a pulire il parco di nascosto, facendoli credere che dopo questi lavori qua utili loro dicono che gli danno il permesso di soggiorno. Questa è una cosa vergognosa. Questa è una cosa vergognosa. I modenesi devono sapere che in questo momento i soldi dei contribuenti modenesi stanno usando i soldi per aprire un CPR dove mettono la gente per rimpatriarli, gente che non ha fatto nessun reato, anzi è scappata di guerra, che si rimane lì muore, è scappato dalla fame, che se non mangia muore, tanto la fine fanno la stessa fine, tutte e due, e stanno usando queste cose qua per far credere agli italiani che queste persone qua devono rimanere a casa loro a morire di fame. Questo vogliono far credere, in questo momento alcuni italiani hanno creduto a questo problema qua e stanno facendo credere che se non vedono migranti per strada l'Italia andrà avanti, l'Italia sarà sviluppata, la gente potrà arrivare a fine mese perché i loro soldi sono usati per mantenere questi migranti. Invece quei soldi che Salvini dice che le deve togliere alla migrazione e la mette in un'altra parte è una bugia, non può farla, perché quei soldi sono destinati a quelli migranti, si usano o non si prendono. Si usano per i migranti o non si possono utilizzare. Questa è la cittadinanza deve capire. Devono capire che chi è prima di questa gente ha lavorato, ma duramente, versando contributi. Chi è stato prima di questi migranti che sono arrivati con le barcone? Ha lavorato, ha aperto società, attività e stanno dando dei soldi all'INPS, l'ha detto Boeri l'altro giorno. E quei soldi servono per pagare la pensione di questi italiani che sono già a casa. I soldi nostri che abbiamo versato noi non sapremo se li prenderemo, perché di sicuro stanno facendo un danno irreparabile all'Italia, questo nuovo governo.